Let's jump to the next slide. So understanding total closing costs. So a lot of people, when they're buying a home, the only thing they really consider is, their down payment. They're like, I have, 50K, 100K, 10K, but they never really keep in mind the closing costs. So what I tell every buyer I talk to is when you're buying a home, you have your down payment, which could be as low as 0% for VA, 3% for conventional, 3.5% for FHA. And then you have your closing costs, which are usually in Illinois, specifically in Cook County, closing costs are usually about 2 to 3% of the purchase price on top of your down payment. So those are third-party fees not controlled by the lender. So those are going to be your title fees, your escrow account for taxes and insurance, and your taxes. So basically, the way that works is you're going to put your down payment, usually pay some earnest money up front, usually a couple thousand, 3 to 5% of purchase price. You pay the remainder at closing. In a purchase transaction, you can't necessarily roll those costs into the loan. Like on a refinance, you can actually roll the closing costs in, not pay out of pocket. The way around that for a purchase is you can actually raise the purchase price and get a seller credit back to technically finance those closing costs in. So a lot of people say, well, I have the down payment, I'm kind of worried about closing costs. There's strategies to finance those costs, or you just need to understand that if you're buying, let's say, a $300,000 place, you're going to put your down payment and then plus 6 to 9,000 of closing costs, transfer taxes, escrow, and title fees. And those are non-negotiable third-party fees. So if you decide to shop lenders and try to go for the best deal, a lot of buyers make a mistake that they'll talk to 3 lenders and now they're getting different numbers from each lender. They're all confused. Just think the only difference between lenders is going to be origination fee, which is usually a couple $100s, and then interest rate maybe by like 1/8 or 1/4%. So know what your closing costs are, know what you're shopping against. It'll make the process a lot more simple.
Are sellers typically willing to raise the price? I mean, looks good for them, but are they willing to do that with the seller credits as you see?
Yeah. So seller credits, depending on how much you put down, it raises the bar. Like 3% down, you get 3%, over 10%, 6%, and so on. So the way credits would work, that if you're buying a $300,000 house, let's say, as long as there's comps in the area and the realtors are, comfortable with them, let's say you take the price from 300,000 to 310,000, and then they give a $10,000 seller credit back. As long as it appraises out, it's fine. Because at the end of the day, the seller wants 300,000 net.
Yeah,
So 300,000 or 310,000 with the $10,000 seller credit is the same net amount.
same thing. Yeah. Cool. That's a creative way to do it.